Today we're diving into something a bit different from what we normally do. We're going to dive into the history of one of the most terrifying events in Sydney as a whole. This is the story of the 1979 Luna Park Ghost Train fire. The Ghost Train is a dark ride built in 1931 for the city of Glenelg in South Australia, then was transported to Sydney in 1934 and 1935. Luna Park was the perfect place, in Milsons Point, right next to Sydney Harbour and its famous bridge. Fast forward many years later to 1979. It's the night of the 9th of June at around 10 p.m. The Godson family had been at the park having fun with their two kids. When it came for them to ride the ghost train, the mother left the father and two children to get ice cream for the family and agreed to meet them when the ride ended. With them, 4 other school kids got on the ride from Waverley Boys College. Then, at 10:15 p.m, chaos ensued.
Aged 4 and 6 were dead, and her 29-year-old husband had also perished in this inferno.
A fire breaks out on the ride, filling the building with smoke. All 7 people got out the train and tried to get off the ride as quickly as possible, as it trundled along empty. In the twisting maze-like corridors, they would frequently get lost, and as the fire raged, the building collapsed, killing everyone inside. The wife returned to see all of her family dead. The bodies were so badly burnt that investigators originally thought they were mannequins. But why did so many people have to die so gruesomely? An inquiry said that the fire was most likely caused by faulty wiring. However, there was no true evidence to back it up, only speculation because of the age of the ride. However, the report did find out that the fire suppression system in the ride was far too inadequate, causing the park to be sold off and given to new tenders on the 31st of July. There were no sprinkler systems in the ride itself at all, despite it being recommended to the park's owners in 1977. However, this still wasn't enough. In 1987, they launched a new investigation into the fire, but no new evidence was presented apart from the previous report doing next to nothing. Abe Saffron, one of the biggest leaders of organised crime in Australia, was alleged as being the cause of the fire, after he and his crew had done 2 other arson attacks around Sydney in the lead up to the fire. However, no coronial inquiry has been put into action for this claim. Now we will take a deep dive into the paranormal theories. There is an image circulating from the day of the fire with one of the victims of the fire on a ferry in Circular Quay next to this thing. Most people call it Cowman and believe that he caused the fire, with some Satanism this and paranormal that, but most people believe that it wasn't him. My theory is that it was either an edited image, or it was just some weird guy, probably a mascot for a butcher or something, headed to Luna Park with some publicity. As stated before, after the fire it was called for new people to run the park. After 3 rounds of tenders for the park by March 1980, a group called Friends of Luna Park organised a march from the Sydney Opera House to the Luna Park face. The face was listed as an item of national heritage soon after. However, the original park was then demolished apart from the face. Anything detachable was auctioned off. Then, almost 3 years after the closure, the park was bought and renamed to Harbourside Amusement Park, later switching to the old Luna Park name. But then it closed again in 1988. It was finally reopened for the last time in 1991. After all of this, it was time to memorialise these victims. In 1995, a memorial, bench and tree were placed to memorialise the fire. However, during the 2003 redevelopment, it was bulldozed. The park director claimed that the incident was only minor, despite almost all of Northern Sydney opposing that decision. In 2004, as an apology of sorts, a plaque was unveiled on the side of the new Big Top. However, the victims were quite unpleased by it. Then, North Sydney Council stepped in and made a proper memorial. The Art Barton Park was given a huge bronze sculpture to memorialise the victims. The chapel at Waverley College features a memorial to their 4 schoolmates killed in the blaze. Whatever our beliefs are on this topic, we can all agree that it was a horrifying chapter in Sydney's rail and roller coaster history.
It is the grin on the harbour that has created more smiles for more than 4 generations of Sydneysiders. But early next year, Luna Park will close for 5 months to allow for its biggest upgrade of rides since it opened, including a new Big Dipper.